All right, you're welcome back. Still on the paper review, looking at the headlines this morning, we've since been joined by a leadership and communication strategist, Dr. John, who's our usual regular analyst on the paper review. Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Too much traffic this Monday morning. All right, so we were on the Nation, when you came in. 2019, Senate to confront Buhari on order of polls, and the question we're trying to wrap around our minds earlier was really, what does it matter what order the election takes, whether it's the presidential that comes first or the National Assembly? Do you think there's something playing out?
Of course, it means a lot that once you conduct any election and you put the presidential election first, it shows that after the election, whosoever emerges will actually determine the direction of the poll. But now, if you are starting with, let's say, House of Assembly, then everybody can actually go out there and vote for whosoever they like. But once you have the presidential election, for example, if APC wins the presidential election and is conducted as the first election, then I can tell you that everybody will just go along that way.
So it's better for democracy objectively if the others are done first and the presidential is done last.
Yeah, okay. But now I understand why these people are kicking, because of the fact it is not for the society, it's for themselves. They are, in all honesty, that's how I see it. But objectively, I think it's better for democracy and the society at large.
Well, even if it's for themselves, the important thing is the right thing is done, even though dishonestly. Abi?
Well,
all right.
Well, that's just
another matter entirely.
Dynamics of it.
And then there's this issue with Patience Jonathan, ex-First Lady's fake firm in 300 million naira deals.
Sometimes when you hear this amount, you're like, oh, do we have this kind of money in Nigeria? An average Nigerian is still suffering under the bridge in Mile 12. It shows that our system has been able to build a few powerful people at the expense of the larger society. And I'm not saying this because Patience is involved. I'm saying this because the political class has seemingly sidelined the majority of the people. So, and they continue to build themselves, they continue to empower themselves so that they continue to have more money.
Well, so far it's still an allegation, and the onus lies on the EFCC to prove their case.
And in fact, EFCC has been in court for so long with the Patience Jonathan issues and all of that. Nigerians will soon get tired of all of this now. But the point is to allow the courts to handle the issue. Yeah,
you see, EFCC as we have it today lacks the capacity to actually handle the level of corruption cases that we have in Nigeria. The way it's looking, I am sorry, I don't want to be generous with figure, but the way it's looking now is like about 80 to 90% of anyone that has ever been a government has wanted to do with corruption. It's a sad reality.
It is a sad reality. Buhari meets Obasanjo at AU Summit. Somebody said, is this a Judas?
If you go on social media
and
find people's reaction to this, it's mind-boggling. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I'm just asking myself, really, what do people expect from them at that level? That I pass a verdict on your government. For example, even at my level, if I told you that, oh, this thing you've done is wrong, I do not...
We're not enemies.
Don't take it personal.
We're not enemies. Unfortunately, the majority of people do not get to understand this. That's why they go on social media and they abuse themselves. They come out of social media on election day. They keep fighting over what?
Yeah, I think at the level of leadership, it goes beyond anything personal. Now, Nigerians expect that with the kind of letter that was credited to former president, they shouldn't see eye to eye with the president. They shouldn't meet anywhere, and then when they meet, there should be a face-off, that kind of thing. But I think at that level, it doesn't play out like that at all.
It's quite instructive, and if only followers of politicians would actually see this and realize, look, it's actually nothing personal. It's all about keeping the eye on the ball. And what is the ball? It's about Nigeria.
It's the nation. It's the state of the nation.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Daily Sun now. Governors, senators plot APC split. Gear up for alternate power bloc in alliance with forces in PDP ahead of 2019 elections. This year is really going to be interesting from all the political...
It's getting interesting already.
Yeah.
But they've been talking about the third force. The third force has been coming as used as a word or as a phrase now. The third force, not the APC, not the PDP and all of that. What do you think?
I think at this point in time, you know, in 2014, people were talking about being tired of PDP. Now, this is 2018. People are talking about being tired of APC. That gave birth to the third force. But again, come to think about it, are we going to import these people from heaven or from the same political system?
Very good point.
Of PDP and APC? That is the question I keep asking myself. Because if you ask me sincerely, I am not going to vote for any traditional leader again. I'm not going to vote for you based on experience, that you have been this, you have been that. I am not going to vote for you. I want to vote for you for your innovation. Because 21st century is not a century of experience. Experiences have failed people. It is innovation in governance. Unfortunately, we are finding it very difficult to actually move from the level of traditional political thinking to innovative 21st century political thinking.
And now, by the 31st of this month, Olusegun Obasanjo, former president, will launch this Coalition for Nigeria group. I wonder if that is a third force. And, you know, like you said, why do we continue to look back instead of looking forward? Nigeria, as a matter of fact, the whole of Africa has missed the 4 or 5 industrial revolutions that have happened in the world today. And artificial intelligence is where the world is going next.
Right now.
And we're not even anywhere
We are still battling with how to get democracy right.
And we've been talking about unemployment and all of that. When artificial technology takes over everywhere, then we'll see our population that is growing about 2.7% annually. And by 2050, will become about 400 to 500 million people, becoming the 3rd most populous country in the world after China and India. Then we have a trouble.
And do you know the sad reality? The sad part of this is that I am not even afraid of the population, because there's a blessing that comes with population.
Absolutely.
If you are innovative enough. For example, in Lagos, if I am to manage Lagos strategically, I know that I can actually fund 2, 3, 4 to 5 local government with transportation system alone, moving people from one place to the other, just within Lagos. That is the blessing of population. But we are not tapping into the blessing.
Yeah, but the point there is, if you flip the coin, Doctor, if you flip the coin, the pressure on Lagos, you know, the more you are carrying out all of this infrastructure and all of that, the more people from Benue, the more people from everywhere are coming in. So it puts a lot of immense pressure on all the infrastructure you're putting up. So at the end of the day, the beauty of the Lagos you want to see, it will never be adequate.
It's almost an impossibility. But like you said, Doctor, the issue is not population. Is the Nigerian government investing enough in human capital?
Development to match the growth of
the population.
So that everybody doesn't come to Lagos. You can be in Cross River, you can be in Plateau State, or you can be in Sokoto State. And you have a population
who, at 65% of this population is made up of the youth. And what percentage of them totally unemployed?
Another thing we should look at, Mike, is that if, for example, our train system is working, I do not need to live in Lagos to work in Lagos. Now, I do not live to, if our housing system is equally working, I do not need to live in Ikorodu and be working on the island. I will work very close to my office. And one of the ways that you can make that happen is, for example, they don't pay me up front. I get paid after the end of each month. So if after the end of each month, I pay my landlord on a monthly basis, then I'll be able to afford 700,000 in Lekki, because I know I'm going to pay 50,000 naira per month. But there's no system. The landlord wants to collect his money upfront 1 year, and I'll be calling my village to send me money to pay house rent.
Sometimes 2 years.
Speaking of systems, and the federal government is still the largest employer of labor in Nigeria.
Anywhere.
Okay, the Vanguard reports Buhari Obasanjo meet in Ethiopia. That's old story. FG probes 200 whistleblowing tips on tax officials and taxpayers. Benue killings, FG opts for military force to flush out culprits. Is it about time, or is it too little, too late?
Let's just see what is going to happen. Like I said the other time, we are still trying to we're caught between traditional way of doing things and modernism. And that's why people don't understand, okay, why do we need to talk about ranching at this point in time? Why not colony? You understand? We are caught in that, and this problem is not going to be, it's not going to solve. If you listen to what Buhari said at what's it called, the AU Summit, he was talking about corruption, and I said to myself that, see, there's no how you want to fight corruption if you do not define who you are and who really are we as a people. Traditionally, leadership in Africa is about receiving, not about giving. So that's why if you go to your traditional ruler, he's expecting you to drop something. If the man comes to you, he's also expecting you to drop something. So the general concept of leadership in Africa is about receiving. And we have transported this into democracy. So if I vote for you now, you are looking at what to receive from the system. Even when we build a system that prevents that, you want to cut corners so that you make money. Until we sort out some of these things, we are going to be having problem of lateness to tackling issues like headsmen and all this.
Exactly.
The problem of Nigeria is traditional leadership.
Okay, so Nigeria's external reserves hit 4-year high of $40.3 billion. This government has been giving itself a pat on the back for this huge achievement.
I talked about it the other time, and I talked about the Nigerian Stock Exchange too, that we are doing well, and I need to commend the government.
In fact, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is is amongst the most active,
if not the best in
yes,
the world.
now what we need to work on
as
as a people and as a government is how to translate the gain to the benefit of the people on the street. That's what we need
exactly. To work on. Let Adamu in Kano or the Ade in Ibadan, Ngozi in Mbise, or Uro in Igede, let them all benefit from all of these. That's what we're saying. It's okay.
All right, we'll have to leave it there with the paper review. I guess we'll be returning Dr. Ojo to discuss this unemployment issue and how it's become a true time bomb that's about to tick. How do we ensure it does not go off and blow up in our faces? Stay with us.